Across the country, lawmakers introduced a record number of bills targeting the LGBTQ community. ACLU is tracking nearly 500 bills targeting drag shows, access to bathrooms, and gender-affirming care. Of those bills, more than 70 have become law. The transgender community says they're being stripped of life-saving care. Meanwhile, Republican lawmakers say they're just trying to protect children and the youth.
A feeling that probably a lot of people take for granted is looking in the mirror and just seeing themselves.
It took 29 years for Shawan Shamsul to step out and into the life she always wanted.
I'm male-bodied, but I always have identified as a woman.
An identity she slowly revealed after years of denial.
I had an aha moment where I was like, I could do this and I could get people to accept me as this person as well. There aren't limitations on what I can do in terms of my gender.
But gaining acceptance within her own family has been a struggle.
There was a lot of telling me that I was going to go to hell because they're a religious family.
Shamsul pressed forward, using her TikTok to share her journey and even call out lawmakers.
It's just not going to work. It's obvious to anybody who's watching that the Republican strategy to winning elections in 2024 and beyond is attacking transgender people.
So far in 2023, ACLU is tracking nearly 500 bills targeting the transgender community that have been introduced across the country in Republican-led states. They include banning or limiting access to gender-affirming care, access to public bathrooms, and participation in sports, just to name a few. To date, more than 70 bills have become law.
We need that more than ever right now.
Erin Reed, a transgender journalist, tracks and reports what she calls anti-LGBTQ legislation in her daily newsletter.
They're aiming for transgender eradication. It means eliminating us from public spaces. It means making it hard for us to exist in public.
Republican Arizona State Senator John Kavanaugh,
I take the title lawmaker seriously.
Sponsored dozens of bills this legislative session, including a pronoun and bathroom bill vetoed by Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs, a Democrat.
The bills that you introduced this legislative session, do they target the trans community?
No, this bill protects everybody. It gives the transgender student their own facility so that they're not stared at, disparaged, discriminated against for being in the opposite one.
Earlier this year, Texas became the largest state to ban gender-affirming care for minors, joining at least 18 other states. Governor Greg Abbott's office released a statement to Scripps News reading in part, "In Texas, we must protect children from making permanent, life-altering decisions before they have the mental capacity to do so, and Senate Bill 14 does just that." But Reed argues that the barrage of bills introduced this year only amplify the struggles trans community members face by stripping them of a sense of belonging or denying them care that can help save lives.
Gender-affirming care reduces a transgender person's suicide rate by 76%.
Did you ever go through a dark time where you said, I don't know if this is worth it?
You have this low grade wondering if, would it be easier for everybody around me if I just died?
A feeling that pushed 18-year-old Esme Nichols to the edge after she came out as a transgender woman to her family.
I reached over and grabbed my bottle of antidepressants off my nightstand, and I took a handful.
She remembers panic and regret as it all set in.
When I wake up, I tried to kill myself, and the ambulance is on their way.
Navigating school also proved to be a challenge.
What were people saying?
Freak, weirdo, yelling, what the F at me as I walked by. Lots of slurs. Just uncreative, if you ask me.
Someone in a vehicle driving past belted out a slur as we chatted outside the school where she graduated and was crowned prom queen.
The feeling from young folks in our community is that they are tired of hearing anti-LGBT attacks and anti-trans attacks.
Cato Stewart is the deputy director of 1 in 10, a Phoenix LGBTQ nonprofit working with youth. He says they've been fielding calls and helping teens understand the impacts of the bills introduced.
They're afraid of policies and laws that could be changed that could affect their life and could affect their autonomy to make informed decisions about their own bodies, about their own futures.
Decisions that in the U.S. already require multi-step medical and psychological evaluations.
There are so many bodies that are involved in my medical care, And that can feel a little bit dehumanizing, but those are the gatekeepers that I have to go through.
In April, Shamsul started gender affirming care. Care she says she wished she would have started earlier in life.
I don't want more rights than anybody else. I just want to be able to participate in society without stigma.
Adi Guajardo, Scripps News, Phoenix, Arizona.